All right, let's jump right in. The best filmmaking YouTube channels of 2020. Number 1, Peter McKinnon. Number 2, Maddie Hapoya. Number 3, Casey Neistat. Number 4, Dan Mace. Number 5, Peter Lindgren. Number 6, Matt Diavella. Number 7, oh, sorry. That's a list of cool new nicknames I want people to call me. Forget all that. Okay, so when people think about the best filmmaking YouTube channels, most people probably go straight to Peter McKinnon and Maddie Hapoya because those are the types of guys that have the most traction. While those guys do make good content, they get the most traction because their content is targeted at the widest audience. A lot of their content is basic stuff like basic tutorials and stuff for new filmmakers, and a lot of the time it can be recycled content from other YouTubers or even recycled from content that they've made on their own in previous years or previous videos. Not to shit on them, they obviously all know what they're doing, and Peter McKinnon did help kind of pioneer the YouTube filmmaking tutorial genre, but after a while, a lot of us grow as filmmakers and therefore grow out of their content because it kind of seems like we've already learned all that they have to teach, considering they kind of teach a lot of the same stuff over and over. And again, not to shit on them, but they kind of do. I mean, really, how many what's in my camera bag videos can you guys make? Like, seriously. So today I'm gonna share with you guys my top 10 favorite YouTube filmmaking channels of 2020. The main theme, the main thing I wanna focus on here is how much value these channels have brought me, and more specifically, how much diverse value these channels have brought me. So let's dive into the channels that have had the most impact on me. I'm gonna put them in order from most impactful to least impactful. We're gonna start at number 10 and go up. So we'll start off at number 10 with Casey Faris. This guy is literally the DaVinci Resolve guru. Everything DaVinci Resolve, I'm not even sure if he has a video on his channel that isn't about DaVinci Resolve. He knows everything there is to know about that program. Probably not actually, but he knows way too much, way more than I could ever know, and it's very helpful for me because I'm currently in the process of switching over to DaVinci Resolve completely and only using that instead of using Premiere, because that whole round trip thing for getting your edit into Resolve to color grade and then back to Premiere is just too much. I'd rather just do it all in Resolve, so having him teaching me all this stuff is definitely very helpful. He really does know a ton of stuff, honestly. He knows tips and tricks for color grading, for editing, for using Fairlight, which is DaVinci Resolve's audio processing side. He knows Fusion, which is kind of like After Effects. He'll teach you everything you could probably ever want to know about DaVinci Resolve, and he makes new content very frequently. He's really, really good. He's really knowledgeable, and I highly recommend him. At number 9, we have Epic Light Media. These guys are hilarious and professional, and they're really good at what they do. They work in video production, and I think they work on some commercial stuff as well. I think they mentioned that they've been doing it for quite a long time, and it really shows. They have a lot of great tips and tricks, and they break stuff down in a really self-explanatory way. I really enjoy how they do things, and like I said, they're really funny. But their content is mainly 80% knowledge and 20% humor / entertainment. And that's kind of what I like about them, and mostly everyone in this list, is I feel like a lot of YouTubers have gotten to the point where it's like 80% entertainment and 20% knowledge, things that just don't really matter to the video. And Epic Light Media does a really good job of keeping that balance and making it fun, but also very knowledgeable. So at number 8, we have Danny Gevirtz. I found this guy pretty recently as well. And what it looks like to me is Danny kind of found his YouTube inspiration in the beginning from other YouTubers that were making recycled content, let's say. So a lot of it is like how to color grade with LUTs and, you know, shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, that kind of stuff, where it's all kind of already been made before. And then all of a sudden it seems like something clicked for him, where he might have had this revelation where I'm making recycled content, maybe I should make some better stuff. And he did exactly that. He made some new, fresh, creative content that wasn't really on YouTube before. He's a DP, so he does a lot of stuff on budgeting for music videos and cinematography breakdowns of stuff that he's shot. That kind of stuff is really cool. It's not the same old in-camera transitions and how to use the gimbal and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool to see how he grew as a filmmaker and as a YouTuber. It also looks like he got way better at his craft in a short period of time. His stuff went from looking pretty good, like solid stuff, to like really, really high quality music videos and documentary stuff like that. He's giving out a lot of useful information for free, and I really appreciate what he's doing for the YouTube community. And I really think you guys should check him out. He's really awesome. So number 7 is Spenser Sakurai. This guy f***ing rules. I only found him recently and I don't remember exactly what video I found him from, but after I found him, I remember not being able to stop watching his content. He only had a little bit of content out when I first found him. He kind of only still has a little bit of content out, but I watched like everything from him. He's so intellectually sound on cinematography and being a DP. He's got his art really worked out. He knows what he's talking about and he really does a good job of breaking things down. My favorite video specifically from him is how to shoot a short film lighting breakdown. He does so much with so little, and also the short film was hilarious and awesome, so I suggest you go check that out as well. One of the things that I really love that he does is he teaches cinematography by taking films that he loves and then recreating them in his own home. So for example, he took a Joker still, or I think a scene from the Joker, the new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and he just set up a lighting plot in his house. He figured out where's the light coming from in this scene, where do I need to set my lights up, and how do I go about doing it? And then he shows you the whole process of it and shows you his final result, and it obviously looks really good and really similar. He will just use whatever he has and create the scene on his own with whatever. He won't say, well, you need a Kino flow here and you need an airy sky panel here. He will just break it down as he sees it and then make it look exactly like the movie did with what he has. It's pretty sick. So now at number 6, we have Indy Mogul. I'm sure you guys have actually heard of Indy Mogul. They've been around forever, honestly. They've been around probably since like 2008, 2009, something like that, somewhere around there. Now, I was more of a Film Riot guy. I didn't really watch Indy Mogul too much, but now they've done a reboot, and Ted from Aperture decided to go work with them, and I loved Ted when he was working with Aperture. I loved his videos, and so I was like, hell yeah, I'll start watching Indy Mogul. They're really solid guys, and they make some really good content because they've all been working in the industry as well, and a lot of them have been working still in an indie industry. They've been working on side projects and small documentaries and stuff like that, so they still do have some really good tips on how to make indie stuff look like big budget stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate all that Indy Mogul does for the filmmaking world and the filmmaking community, because a lot of people don't have a lot of money and they still want to make films and they want to know how to do it the right way and how to make it look good. So props to you guys, Indy Mogul. I'm glad you guys came back, and thank you for picking up Ted, because he's a total broski. Number 5 is my buddy Nigel Barros. I don't know if he's Brazilian or so, like Barros. When I first found him, I called him Nigel Barros, and that's like the whitest thing ever. So I first found him shooting in 60 frames a second with this little goatee that he had going on, and this was about 3 years ago. I think I found him from some video about a really budget cinema setup with like a Canon M5 or something like that. It was awesome, and he's a really good guy. I actually reached out to him on Instagram, and now we're pretty good buddies. He makes some really good stuff, mainly about like hyper budget filmmaking. It's like really low budget stuff where you're pinching pennies and you're really trying to get the most out of what your dollar can do. He does reviews on expensive gear, but honestly, I feel like his niche is in hyper budget, super cheap gear that can just get you out the door and get you creating. I found him around, I think, like 3,000 subscribers, and now this dude's at like 90K. So props to you, Nigel. I'm proud of you for coming as far as you have, and I think you guys should go check him out, especially if you're on a budget. He makes probably some of the best budget filmmaking videos you can find. Now, I mentioned before that I've been slowly transitioning into DaVinci Resolve from Premiere Pro, and I could not be happier with who I've found on YouTube through all of this. It happens to be number 4, Waqas Qazi, and he's a professional colorist. He's been a professional freelance colorist for a while, and he knows his so well. He has some great workflows on YouTube. He takes you through the process of how he grades stuff, why he's grading certain things the way he's grading it, little tips and tricks here and there that it just brings your grading to the next level. It bumps it up a little bit. He also has a masterclass. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm thinking heavily about doing that, and I think there's going to be a lot of positive outcome from buying it. It is a little bit expensive. If you don't feel like purchasing it, like I said, he has a YouTube channel and he does a lot of in-depth stuff about professional coloring, and it's really, really solid. So definitely recommend just going on his YouTube channel and soaking up all the free content that he puts out. All right, so number 3, we have Potato Jet. And this guy is probably someone you've heard of. He's the Asian guy that looks like the kid from Up. Please do not cancel me. He says that about himself, and other people joke around about that. Please, I'm not being insensitive. I'm just recycling information. I started watching him around 20 or 30,000 subscribers, and now he's at like 600,000 subscribers. Notice a pattern. I find all these guys like really early, and I could probably find like the next Selena Gomez or something. That'd be pretty sick. Honestly, watching Potato Jet is mainly, for me, entertainment. I mean, he does have some good tutorials and stuff like that. He's a guy that's been working in the industry again for a long time as a DP, and he knows his stuff as well. But for me, I mainly watch him for entertainment. He's a funny dude. He makes some really entertaining stuff, and he does these wacky things. Like, he buys Arri Alexas and like $20,000 lenses just for fun, and just goes out and shoots with them. It's entertaining to watch a guy run around with an Alexa or a Red and like shoot whatever he wants with whatever equipment he wants, because it kind of like takes you out of real life. It's almost like watching a movie. You wish you could use all the gear that he has. But yeah, it's not every day that you get to, and really it's not ever for some of us, that you get to lug around an Alexa Mini and a set of Zeiss Master Primes and just go to town. And this dude just walks his dog and he's running around with an Alexa and just like shooting whatever he wants. And it's pretty cool. So definitely recommend Potato Jet. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's a fun guy, and I enjoy watching him. So number 2 is this guy named Anders. He's from Norway, and his YouTube channel is Andyax. You may or may not have seen him. I've been watching him for like 6 or 7 years now, and that's kind of crazy to think back on, but I've been watching him since high school. And it's really, really awesome to see how far he's come. And it's really cool to see how much of an impact he's made on me as a filmmaker. I remember watching his first videos of him making like DIY lights out of a small lamp and some tin foil to use as a reflector to modify and shape the light how he wants. And this dude literally made like a really solid professional setup for like $50. And that's the kind of stuff that I needed back then when I was in high school. I needed to know, holy shit, you can just go to Home Depot and make a film studio kind of out of that. But he did a lot of the same stuff as like Indy Mogul, like really DIY budget filmmaking tutorials, and that really helped a lot of people back then, for sure. He shows a lot of his work. He takes you step by step through the process of how he made it and what he did. He shows all of his little techniques and all that kind of, it's just really genuine content. His new big project is a mini documentary series about a film company that he's making. He's creating his own production company with a bunch of friends, and he's documenting the whole process of it. And it's really awesome to see kind of like the ups and downs of all that shit. And he's Norwegian, so he has this funny little accent, and it's so cute. It's so funny to listen to him all day. But like, it's also pretty cool to listen to him now, 6 or 7 years later, and see how much better his English has gotten over the years. So he's definitely a cool dude. Go check him out. And now we move to number 1. Caleb Pike from DSLR Video Shooter. Now, this is another guy who I found about 6 or 7 years ago. I probably found Anders and Caleb around the same time, and I was watching his videos from probably 2012, 2013 of him modifying old vintage lenses to make his own cinema lens set, and doing reviews on the old Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, like the old one. Caleb is by far the most thorough filmmaking YouTube channel I've ever encountered. Gerald Undone is probably a close second. If you've ever heard of Gerald Undone, he's probably in my honorable mentions. He's also a very good YouTuber, and he loves the color purple. But Caleb has just been doing it for so many years and so consistently. He does everything from weird light reviews to mirrorless camera reviews to weird lighting setups and full YouTube studios in one single stand type of videos. And what does this mic sound like? What does that mic sound like? $50 LED lights, gimbals, and headphones and Bluetooth headphones. And he does everything. He literally knows he's the definition of a jack of all trades. He's got an amazing variety of content on budget lighting, high-end lighting, budget audio, high-end audio. He's got a really good balance of content, and he does a fantastic job of laying out stuff that people actually want and what people actually need. Amazon should love this guy, because I've bought so many products just because he's recommended them and shown what they can do, shown how great those products can do their job. He's also just a really awesome, genuine guy. He does live streams and you can hang out with him, and he's a cool dude. So definitely recommend him as my #1 best YouTuber of all time for filmmaking right now. So that was kind of excruciating for me, but now I think I've made it all the way through to the end. If you found this video helpful, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, no, backwards. Leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a comment down below and tell me why, because, brother, we are gonna argue so much and it's gonna be hilarious. Subscribe if you wanna see more content like this, but that's gonna do it for this one. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys. See you later.